Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, the UCRL Man Cave After Dark Truck Series in Nashville, Tennessee. Actually, technically, Lebanon, Tennessee, at the Nashville Superspeedway. And this is going to be an interesting little track here, as it's a little bit longer than what Jimmy considers a short track here. We got tri-oval racing here. Going to be a little bit like Iowa, Chicagoland, and maybe a little bit of Dover all mixed in with the concrete tri-oval. Don't really see this hardly anywhere else, but going to be real interesting here. Nice, cool track temperature, so these guys should be putting in some good times. But 1 1/3 mile tri-oval here, going to put on quite a show here, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show here. It's just over that short track feel to me, but it's that has a tri-oval feeling here. Decent banking, and they're real fast. So about 32 seconds to get around here. Looking for let's see, a fuel run is right around about 60 to 63 laps here before these guys will actually come into pits. So looking at 2 pit stops here tonight here at Nashville, and we got an overcast, about 69 degrees, and we will have lucky dogs, and these guys do have 4 sets of tires in the pits as normal, Carl.
Yeah, I mean, nice long one with 132 laps, and they're definitely going to need some of those tires for sure, as this concrete tri-oval is certainly going to eat up the tires. It's going to be a little bumpy. It's going to test these drivers' skills to kind of handle the car, as well as save the tires. So see who comes out on top. These guys are finishing up with practice. We got Eric Jeffers is going to be the one joining us here tonight in the booth as the in-race reporter. We'll bring him in a minute, let him get out there and do his qualifying first. And then we will bring him in, the driver of the number 4. And I mean, he's had a pretty good season up to this point. He has, he's sitting second right now in the point standings, but coming off of one of the worst, if not the worst finish of the year for him last week with a 22nd there at the Auto Club Speedway. And, this is another tri-oval just like Auto Club, but certainly has really no other characteristics other than the fact that it's got, essentially 3 turns, because Auto Club, it's big, it's wide, it's asphalt. This is smaller, it's tighter, it's concrete. It's a different animal altogether. I mean, they can certainly get 2, 3, 4 wide here at this track as well, but it's going to feel like it's a lot more confined of a space.
Yeah, I mean, it is more compact. So like you were talking about, it's going to have that more compact feel. It is almost as fast though, as these guys will be flying around here at a real good clip here. As it looks like some of the guys are out there right now trying to put in some lap times for the qualification here. Let me bring that stuff up, kind of show you where everybody's at. Right now, Jerry West and Peter Porzuchek is putting in a lap at a 30.4.
Yeah, another good-sized field out here tonight, as I believe we're approaching about 25 to 30 guys once again here for the Man Cave After Dark Truck Series, brought to you by UCRL. No sponsors here tonight that we know of for the race. So again, if you want to sponsor any of these guys' races going forward, please make sure you get in contact with myself, Jimmy, Scott Bolster. He's the man in charge over there at UCRL. And, get your name out there, get your business out there, get your iRacing paint out there, whatever you want to do to try and help these guys out. Anything is better than nothing. Even if you can't, spend the full amount to be the full sponsor of the race, any way that you can help these guys out would certainly, go a long way for these guys. But see how these guys are doing out in qualifying here, and some pretty interesting names at the top of the board in practice, as we did have Eric Jeffers, our in-race reporter, there in second place, but we have both the Kirbys, Justin, at the top of the boards in practice times, Brent Kirby there in third place. Then we had Stouffer, Hunt, and Bennett also up there as well. So certainly saw some different names at the top of the boards in the practice, but starting to see some of the regulars make their way to the top. Matthew Greathouse with a good run right there by .001 over Kyle Bartles right now, as we're just past halfway through this practice session. It looks like Eric Jeffers is complete with his qualifying run. We'll try and take a look here real quick, and then we will go ahead and pull him in and have her a little spiel with him and see how everything is going out there. But unless I'm mistaken, looks like he is all in done. Just double checking. Yep. All right. So we'll go ahead and bring in the driver of the number 4, and that is Eric Jeffers. And Eric, you had a good time there in practice. Looks like a pretty decent time right now, sitting P6 in qualifying. Certainly a different track here, as we talked about with Nashville being a tri-oval that you see a lot, but on the concrete, it's a completely different handling, a little bit more bumpy. And how's it feeling for you out there?
Yeah, it is a little bit of a weird racetrack. I don't even really know what you would compare it to. It's pretty unique. You got to be smooth and don't burn up the right front, and that wall coming off turn 4 can jump out and get you pretty easily. So far tonight, not too bad. I kind of messed up in qualifying there a little bit, got loose out of 2 and lost some time, but should be a decent starting spot. It looks like top 10 anyway.
Yeah, pretty much the best thing I could come up with is maybe Iowa and Dover had a baby. That's about the only comparison I could think of for this kind of track here. But I mean it's a little bit different now. You coming off of your worst finish of the season there with a 22nd at Auto Club. So what's going to take to bounce back and get that that top 5, top 3 form and trying to get your way to that top step, sitting right now second in the points?
Well, it seems like the in-race reporter wins every week, so I was hoping you guys to bring me some luck.
But we do what we can, buddy.
No, last week was frustrating. Restarted top 5 there towards the end and just got caught up in something. But that's going to happen. So, fortunately we get drop weeks. That'll be one of them, I'm sure. But, hopefully keep it clean tonight, and I think I can have a good run.
Well, you guys right now in Full Throttle Motorsports sitting on top of the point standings for the team and sitting out there with a comfortable lead. So you guys are certainly putting down what you need to do for the team. So how is the the team chemistry, the team atmosphere in there?
So far so good. Actually, me, Tony, and Travis have been racing together for a really long time, and we go back to the PlayStation 2 days. So we're good friends. We know each other well. And Chris Stouffer, we've raced on here a little bit. He's a really good driver, probably one of the best in the series. So, yeah, so far so good, and try to keep it going.
Well, you guys got the top 2 in the driver's points, let alone the top spot in the team points. So we'll let you get at it, let you get back behind the wheel, and we'll wish you luck. And if we get a chance during the race, we'll bring you in here to chat with you. If not, maybe we'll talk to you with the top 3 at the end. But before we let you go right now, anybody want to send a shout out to or thanks to?
As usual, just, Scott run the league. This is probably the most fun I've had league racing so far this season. We got a great field every week, and it's been a lot of fun. And just for everything that he does. I know he's got a family, and it takes time to get on here and build the setups and all that. So, let's appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll let you get back to it, and hopefully we'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, that again, the driver of the 4 in-race reporter here tonight, Eric Jeffers. Jimmy, we're done with qualifying. We're gridding up. What's the rundown?
Yeah, rundown for tonight will be Justin Kirby taking that pole away from Matthew Greathouse. So those guys will be in the front row. Then you have Kyle Bartles and Trevor Hunt, Jeremy Little and Tim Glass, Dustin German and Eric Jeffers, Peter Porzuchek and Chris Stouffer, Travis Bennett and Scott Bolster, Jake Lesh, John Williams Sr. in that 14th spot, Grady Gherkin 15, Andrew Ratcliffe 16, Jordan Wenzel 17th, and Jerry West for our first 18 drivers. And then the rest of the field here will be 19 will be Matt Foster, 20 will be Felipe Ramos, 21 Tony Japs, 22 Jasper Crawford, 23 Christopher Spencer, 24 Brent Kirby, 25 Robert Colgan, 26 Cal Gomes, and 27 Joshua Siegfried. So 27 cars here tonight, Carl, in Nashville, and these guys are hungry for that win. You see a couple new names here on top, so I'm looking forward to see who's gonna be the champion for tonight.
It's going to take a different type of driver, and that could be exactly why we're seeing some different names at the top of the boards right now. As far as the point standings coming in, we've seen a lot of the same from a lot of the same drivers with some good finishes, and we have Chris Stouffer on top of the point standings as he's sitting there with 1,120 points, 55-point lead over his teammate Eric Jeffers there with a 1065, and then only another 5 points back to Chris Bouchard in third. Grady Gherkin in 4th place, another 10 back, and then another 50 back to 5th place, Kyle Bartles, with Bennett, Ratcliffe, Little, West, and Colgan ran out the top 10. But enough with points. It's time to go racing here in the Man Cave After Dark Truck Series here at Nashville Superspeedway. Barney has got the flag, and he is waving green flag racing, 132 laps on tap.
And the guys are spreading out in the back, fanning out all from the start, people getting better starts than others. These guys are getting up to speed, coming in here to turns 1 and 2. Here's exit of 2, heading down the backstretch to 3.
Good start by everybody right now, and just like any other race, this is going to be just a feel right now to try and see how the truck is going to handle in the traffic, how it's going to handle under these nighttime conditions here under the lights here at Nashville Superspeedway. Already some cars in the wall in the tri-oval.
Oh.
And we have our first yellow quickly here. We'll take a look back and see what brought that out.
Trying to look back here. I believe it was... I think...
Looks like up front there, the 6 hooking the 52 of Borzuchek. So it is the 6 of Travis Bennett and the 52 of Borzuchek getting involved in that one here. And then a big hit there from the 37. So I'm not sure if Borzuchek thought there was it was clear and he tried to make the move up to the top. But it was certainly not clear, as right there Bennett getting a good run off the corner. And that got him alongside, and 52 just kind of slides up there and gets involved. But the aftermath with the 37 was certainly even worse. So taking a look right now, you see the 52 drifting up there a little bit, and it was enough to get into the front end of the 6. Sends him into the wall, and lucky for the 6, he's able to get away, pretty much scot-free here, as he stays up in front, up into the wall. We'll take a look here with the 37 of Felipe Ramos. And you just see the trucks kind of drifting down in front of him. I see the 00 up there, and the 57, I believe, getting involved, but big hit right there with the 37. And, I mean, that thing almost went up and over. And then the 17, nowhere to go, gets in the back of that 37 machine as well. So a lot of carnage here, and questionably the big one here right off the start is the 88 locking it up, trying to figure out which way to go. Does a good job avoiding that incident, but a lot of guys involved pretty early here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how everybody kind of comes back from, this little big accident. I guess you want to start here at turn 1, so these guys will get the cars going, get the vehicles down the pit lane, and just continue to put on a good show here tonight. But right now you still have Justin Kirby out front with Carl Bartles, Matthew Greathouse, Jeremy Little, and Trevor Hunt for your top 5. And you have Dustin German, Eric Jeffers, Tim Glass, Christopher, Scott Bolster for your top 10, and then Jake Lesh, Travis Bennett, Grady Gherkin, Andrew Ratcliffe, Jordan Wenzel, Matt Foster, Tony Japs, Jasper Crawford, Brent Kirby, Christopher Spencer, Robert Colgan. Peters sliding all the way back to 22nd right now. Felipe Ramos also back there in 23rd, 24th with Jerry West. As I seen the 00 down through the grass as well, as he's had continuous good finishes here this season so far, as we are in round 7 here at Nashville.
Yeah, it looks like we have 26 guys in the field. Not sure if Joshua Siegfried made the grid here tonight, but he is back there 3 laps down right now. But it looks like a different paint scheme for the 4 here tonight, as he's run the monster paint scheme all the way up until this race here from what I've seen, and now rocking the Halmar paint scheme here tonight. So maybe a little throw out to Stuart Friesen there and the Halmar machine, but a good looking number 4 right there. So in-race reporter looking good so far. He's clean. In 7th place right now is Eric Jeffers. So we will see how this thing plays out, but obviously these guys are getting at it pretty early here tonight. But, again, just patience is going to be a key here, as they're going to have to really try and click some laps off here. 132, again, on tap here tonight. And you really need to get this thing fanned out and start to feel out your truck. Obviously, having the incident on lap 1 doesn't give you a chance to do that yet, but plenty of time for these guys to find it out. But right now, Justin Kirby is the man up front.
Yeah, these guys still following the pace truck around as we'll go ahead and hop on with Justin Kirby here as he looks on. The lights are now off, and Justin Kirby looking to continue his lead here, as the start will be on him this time and not the lights.
Justin Kirby, one of the drivers that we've seen be up there in the top 5, top 3, even competing for wins here and there. Just seems like he ends up being in the wrong place at the wrong time when it comes to the end of the race and getting involved in incidents, and certainly had his fair share last week. Did a good job fighting back, but ultimately it was just not enough last week, as he was saddled with a 4th place there for his efforts. But a good job either way, getting a top 5. But that 58 definitely has some speed in it, and it certainly has some speed in it here tonight. Top of the boards in practice, top of the boards in qualifying, top of the boards in the race right now. Pace truck lights are out, diving down to the infield. It is in the hands of Justin Kirby, and we wait for him to get on the loud pedal, and he is on it. Back racing here at Nashville Superspeedway. Really good start there by the 58, as they're fanned out almost 3 wide behind them for 2nd place, as the 51 of Great House trying to get back in the mix here. The 55 a little on the outside, with the 76 right now of Kyle Bartles in 2nd place right now. Rest of the field diving around and chasing him. We'll get the track map up here for you guys here in a second. But these guys are back at it once again. We'll see how this thing fans out now, and how these guys tackle this concrete 1 1/3 mile.
Yeah, you see Justin just kind of putting the pedal to the floorboards and try to pull out just a little bit and let these guys fight behind him, as Kyle Bartles from Maggie Greathouse going at it back and forth here for 2nd place. Jeremy Little sitting there in 4th place, followed closely by Dustin German, as Dustin German had late tragedy there last week, so hopefully he can get a better finish here tonight, as Eric Jeffers is continuing to work his way up towards the front, as he's looking to take the 6th place away over Travis Hunt.
Yeah, doing a good job getting to the inside, but you see that outside just has a little bit of run, the middle line just a little bit of run, and get the good run off the corner just to keep him down there. But Jeffers will clear and move himself up into 6th place. But one thing we haven't seen all season, Jimmy, is really anybody check out from the lead, that much, and haven't had really too many tracks to be able to do that. If we had the big tracks, like Talladega, obviously you can't do it there. You had the smaller tracks like Myrtle Beach that we've been to, can't do it there. But this is maybe one of the first tracks that we get to now, where if you have a good truck, you have a good handle, you have a good feel for the track, you can break away a little bit. And already seeing Justin Kirby doing just that, out to a 2nd lead right now. You look back here, this is Brent Kirby here back in 19th, so maybe not getting the family love and getting the speed that Justin does, as he's hanging back here in 19th. But yeah, it's everybody just pretty much in one group, but right now out there on his own is the 58 of Justin Kirby.
Yeah, it's just the truck's hooked up for him tonight as he continues to gain that lead. So we'll see if he can maintain that, as like I said, these they got a large pit window here, looking at what was that, what I say, it was 40, what is it, yeah, 60 to 63 laps. So we'll see if he can last that long and keep that truck out front for that interval of time if this thing decides to go green. But there's some people that will want to take that away, I'm sure. It's looks like Grady Gherkin sitting back there in the 10th position right now, looking to take over number 9 from Tim Glass.
These guys now starting to settle into position here, and it looks like Kyle Bartle's starting to run down Justin Kirby a little bit. He's got it under a second once again, but all in all, it's still a pretty good lead for Justin Kirby. Good battling back here, as we said, back here in the back of the top 10 with 18 of Glass, a 55 of Little, 46 right there of Girk, and the 6 of Bennett coming back after that incident early with Horzuchek. So he's making his way back up through the field pretty nicely, already working on a top 10 run. You got Ratcliffe right there joining the mix there in 12th in the 24 machine. So good battling here early, as this track is certainly looking a little racy here early, so, and that's what we like to see. So these guys are making their moves and making them stick, but you know, now that we start to get in a little bit of a run here, the pit window being in the you know, the mid 60s there makes it interesting, with this race being 132 laps. You know, does anybody take that chance of just, you know, really super conserving and you know, hoping for maybe another quick caution here to be able to stretch that thing all the way out, make it on one pit stop? Certainly going to be rough to do that on tires, and we'll see if this thing, you know, stays green enough to even be able to take a chance on that. But be interesting to see if anybody wants to try and stretch this thing out, if we have some early pit stops, because I feel like tires are going to play a big part here tonight, and the short pit could be something that really comes into play.
Yeah, the short pit can definitely come into play here, as it looks like back here in the 17 car of Christopher Spencer, as they were 2x2 there for a little bit, and they just kind of singled out here. But these guys, it seems like the high side is, they get a really good run coming out of the corner. They just, it's going into the corner, that the inside line, and I've watched the 45 of Scott Bolster fall back a few positions as he kind of got hung out there to dry. As it looks like right behind Scott Bolster is Brent Kirby. So Brent Kirby might not have had a good qualifying effort, but he's currently up 8 spots. So certainly has a little bit of speed up there. Maybe looking forward to, you know, catch up to family up there that's, you know, sitting at front there, which his interval has dropped back down to a half a second. So Carl Bartles chasing down Justin Kirby there, and Matt Grayhouse not too far behind.
Yeah, so now it's the question of, you know, did Justin Kirby have that early speed, now it's fallen off, or did he realize, you know, hey, I'm getting out there a little bit too big of a lead, let me just kind of settle in here and work these tires a little bit better. But yeah, it looks like, you know, to me, getting into the corners is kind of big, and the track not being rubbered in yet, it looks like these guys are hooking that bottom pretty nicely on the bottom, and that middle line just hasn't gripped up yet, getting into the corners. But once the truck is set in the corner, that's where that middle line starts to come alive through the mid and exit of the corners. So it's again, it's good to see there's a couple lines that are already working into play for these guys to try and make those moves. It looks like Joshua Siegfried did get out here on the track, so he is 3 laps down, and he is crossing the start-finish line right now. As you see, a little rougher wear right there. So maybe we missed it, and he actually was out there at the start and just got involved in that wreck. But either way, we do have 27 drivers out here in the field. It looks like Felipe Ramos is, you know, maybe he stayed in there to get that truck fixed. It is back fixed and running once again, and back here in 27th, 4 laps down in the field right now. So he's going to need some cautions to try and get back on the lead lap, or at least, you know, start working his way back towards the lead lap and get back in the mix of this thing. But that Inca truck is back fixed, and that's the main thing. He's back to speed the way it was, and trying to do it right now, as he's got the 7 of Robert Colgan on his inside.
Yeah, these guys, I mean, at least they're back out on the track. They look like they're back up to speed. There might be a few laps down, but, you know, never know what can and might happen here, and try to pick up a position or two, you know, and if not, at least you get some time on track. But the guy really looks like he has some time on track, or at least some experience here, is Justin Kirby, as he continues to lead over Kyle Bartles and Matthew Grayhouse.
Yeah, that lead was out to just over a second, and Kyle Bartles kept chipping into it, and got it down to about the mid-5s, and it seems like it's being kind of stagnant there, if anything, moving up a little bit now. So maybe Kirby just doing a little bit of conservation there early in the run. But we do look like we have about a 6-truck breakaway with Kirby, Bartles, Greathouse, German, Jeffers, and Stouffer, your top 6, and then about a second and a half back to Trevor Hunt. Grady Gherkin, Travis Bennett, Tim Glass rounding out your top 10.
Yeah,
So, certainly a different picture there for Trevor Hunt, as not sure if that is the family dog there or what's going on, but I hope that is not a selfie, because if that's the case, that is one fast dog out there.
You never know. I mean, it's the black dog, so Trevor out there doing his thing.
And doing a good thing out there right now, up into 7th place right now. So, like we always say, make sure you mention in the comments who you're rooting for, who you'd like to see, what kind of camera angles you like to see, anything like that. We aim to please, and looking to show you what you want to see out here. We're just we're your vessel, and trying to bring you all the action here, as these guys are doing a good job right now. Spread outs now pretty much all the way down the backstretch, and then some, as this field is starting to spread out here a little bit now. And now is when you're going to start to see those tires, start to wear down a little bit, and see some guys trying maybe some different lines to see where the truck is feeling the best, where it's starting to feel a little bit tighter, as you see on board right now with your in-race reporter Eric Jeffers into the top 5 right now, trying to hunt down this top 4 of Kirby, Bartles, Greathouse, and German.
Yeah, and I believe that was the 55 a little not having a great run. I think that was...
No, that was the 85 of Siegfried at the bottom. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So Siegfried having a little bit of trouble there with the wall, and catching some damage, putting them down some power. But yeah, on board here with Eric, as he continues to look for that win for the year, but chasing down the guys up here in front of him with Dustin German. So just figured let you guys ride on board here a little bit, just kind of let you see what the driver's looking at, trying to get around here. Is pretty nice and smooth. I did a few laps here before the race, and I felt comfortable here. So one of those tracks I wouldn't mind getting out there and running with people. So gonna open it up nice and easy in the corner, let the truck kind of rotate, come down around the corner here, and then just slowly work your throttle up and come off the corner and get a nice run. So, and believe it or not, the more I backed up my corner, the faster it was going around it, instead of probably easier on the tires, as you got that truck down a little bit, hug that bottom yellow line there. But I'm sure the truck will change as the tires go away.
Yeah, one of those tracks where the old saying "slow is fast" is certainly a big thing here, as it's better a lot of times to kind of, like Jimmy said, back up the corners and really kind of set that truck into the corners. It's going to help out the entire corner, the exit, everything like that. But yeah, I mean, getting back with Jeffers, he does have one win on the season, along with Stouffer, Gherkin, and West, as Bouchard the only man out there with 2 wins, as he went back-to-back these last 2 weeks here, as he won at Myrtle Beach in a pretty good run right there, leading 24 laps, and then at Auto Club last week, which was arguably his hometown race, leading 20 laps there and taking home the win. So back-to-back here for Chris Bouchard, but this week it doesn't look like... Am I missing something? Is he not in the field here tonight? Looks like he is not. Yeah, didn't notice that until right now, and that's completely an error on our side, as 3rd place here in the points. Back-to-back winner Bouchard not in the field here tonight, so that is a big loss for him for sure. But I'm sure the guys out here would love to see that that man not show up after back-to-back wins, and give everybody else a chance here. But certainly missing the 28 car out there. But right now it is still Kirby, and it looks like that little bit of patience is starting to pay off, as he's out there to almost a 1.5 second lead now. Greathouse moves himself into 2nd place over Bartles. Jeffers now up into 4th. He's caught that pack a little bit. Got around German, who is in 5th, with Stouffer, Hunt, Gherkin, Bennett, and Glass, your top 10. Looks like we do have one retiree, and that is Siegfried. He is going to wrap it up for the night in a finish in 27th position. Ramos, the only one out there that is not on the lead lap. He is 3 laps down right now in 26th. Take a look back here. Here is 9th place of Travis Bennett. So again, a good bounce back after getting involved in the early incident with Porzuchek, who is kind of stuck back there, back in 19th position after that early incident. But looks like the truck is fixed, and again, that's the main thing. Worry about the long game and worry about slowly picking off those positions, as he did have a pretty good qualifying effort. Once again, qualifying there in the top 10 in 9th place. So I'm sure that 52 has some speed to say something here towards the end. We'll see everything works out for him. Biggest mover of the race right now is the 17 of Chris Spencer, up into 11th place. Started way back there in 23rd. So certainly found something here in race trim that is working out nicely for him, as you got Brent Kirby, not the leader, the other Kirby, now up 9 positions, up into 15th position after starting 24th.
Yeah, and it could be family just passing down some line secrets that are, letting off the gas here and or get on the gas there, and might have helped him speed up just his line just a little bit, but definitely moving forward here as he's up, like you said, 9 spots. So currently sitting 15th, not too far behind Jeremy Little, which has found himself down a few positions here at the beginning of the race.
And looking like he's got some speed now is our in-race reporter, now moving up into 3rd place, as Eric Jeffers makes the pass on Kyle Bartles right there, as Bartles starting to fall back here a little bit later in the run. So not sure if he used up those tires trying to run down Justin Kirby, but starting to fall off here a little bit. And now it is, again, Greathouse in 2nd, trying to do what he can to run down Justin Kirby, but Kirby is really starting to stretch his legs out here, now out to 1 3/4 second lead. So looking good is that 58 machine.
I want to say this is probably the biggest lead anybody's had so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like I said, we've gone to a lot of different tracks, but none really kind of suited the style of checking out. I mean, maybe you could do it at Homestead a little bit, maybe at Atlanta, but all in all, it was just tough sledding for these guys to really get any kind of decent breakaway going. Nothing that it was marred down with cautions or anything like that, as Homestead only had 2 cautions in the race. Atlanta a little bit more cautions as they dealt with 7 there. So that kind of brought everybody back together quite a bit. So no chance of breaking away there. But yeah, I mean, this really the first track that they go to that there's a good legitimate chance of if you got it, if you're feeling it, you can certainly lay it down, and that is exactly what Justin Kirby's doing right now.
Yeah, speaking of laying it down, Chris Spencer up another spot, now up 13 spots. Has his eyes set on Travis Bennett, trying to get up there, but definitely putting that 17 forward. Having a good run here, with a not so great start.
Yeah, absolutely making his way up there. Again, up 13 spots. That is quite the feat here. Only 39, or actually 38 complete. Just starting lap 39 here. So a good job, good start there for the 17. And we look here at Dustin German, and another one that's up there a few spots, and really up there in the top 10. Everybody is up positions except for Kirby starting on the pole, Greathouse starting in 2nd. Those guys are now 1, 2. And then back there, Kyle Bartles starting in 3rd. He's back to 6th. Hunt starting in 4th. He's back to 7th. But everybody else is up 3, 5, 7, 13 positions there in the top 10. So a lot of guys starting outside there and starting to move their way in. So maybe like Jeffers mentioned in his little previous interview, that he just kind of struggled with the qualifying, made some mistakes, and he's faster than what he showed in qualifying. Maybe some of these other guys are the same. So we're starting to see some different names move their way up through the field. Losing another driver now. Looks like Cal Gomes is going to be parking it for the night. He is going to finish there in 26th. I'm showing John Williams Sr. in the pits right now. Not sure if this is scheduled or not. The truck looks pretty clean. It looks like I got some repairs done. Maybe taking a fast repair there to fix the back end, so maybe he did get involved in an incident. Now we do have one of our leaders as Dustin German into the pits there, and that is going to be surrendering a top 5 position, and I can't imagine that this is, any reason for damage or anything like that he brought this thing in. That is, it seems like a pretty early pit stop. If we were calling that thing as a 60, mid 60 run for fuel, this seems quite early here, and at this point you're almost making it a 3 or 4 stop race.
I mean, he can stop here. He can hit the 100 mark and then hit one more stop, as these guys are kind of in that 2-stop window, as only that one caution at the beginning of the race. I don't think it's enough for, unless somebody's drafting that well or really fuel saving, to be able to just use one stop. But he might just be trying to undercut as he got, tires of fuel and come back out here. As it looks like, where did he settle back at?
It looks like German is back in 23rd, 1 lap down right now. So you see you lose a lap under pitting here, even from the top 5. But yeah, I mean, pitting in there around the time that he did, he pit on lap 40. That's going to set him up for a 3 pit stop race, and I feel like these guys gotta make this thing on 2 pit stops. So unless he is just extremely short pitting here, going to go for a long run and make that a 2-stop race. It seems pretty early here to make that first pit stop. But I'm not out there driving. I'm not sure how this thing is handling. Got Tony Japs now in the pits as well with the 19 machine. He was our nurse reporter last week. But and now another one. It looks like Chris Spencer, the one that was moving his way through the field, got to make his move down into pit lane as well. So quite possibly these guys aren't going to make it that long of a distance with the fuel. So maybe we had the calculations wrong here. I mean, they're not going to make it in the 60s. It's closer to the 40s or 50s, because these guys are pitting pretty early, unless these tires are just absolutely smoked at this point. But smoke in the field right now is Justin Kirby out to a 2-second lead now over Matthew Greathouse.
Yeah, just going by the notes that I was passed down, and as they're using right around 0.3 gallons a lap, just over. That's what they have down in the notes here for roughly 60 laps run here, as Justin Kirby is on lap 46. So a few of those guys coming in early, maybe just a different strategy, just trying to do something different, Carl. If you can't catch them now, maybe the undercut is the way to go, and maybe those people will come back out in front, and maybe a caution will happen, and then Justin Kirby will be a lap down. So who knows? We'll see how this plays out right now. But Justin Kirby leading the pack right now over Matthew Greathouse, Eric Jeffers, Chris Stouffer, Grady Gherkin up to 5th, Kyle Bartles, Trevor Hunt, Andrew Ratcliffe, Travis Bennett, and Jake Lesh round your top 10 here at Nashville.
Yeah, Justin Kirby right now looking like he is, certainly the man to beat in this first third of the race. And yeah, I mean, if you don't feel like you can catch him on speed, you're going to have to try some different strategies. But what's interesting is, well, actually doesn't. I was looking at the wrong thing. He does have the fastest lap of the race, and by a pretty good margin. It says he's run a 30.4 as his best lap. The next closest one that I'm seeing on here is Kyle Bartles with a 30.51, and that was draft dated a little bit as well. So Kirby certainly has a fast number 58 machine out there, but it looks like we got a battle now for second, and Jeffers going to put that Halmar machine to the inside and take over second place from Matthew Greathouse. A little bit of a fight back from the 51, but he is going to concede that position. Now we'll see if Jeffers has anything for Kirby here late in the run, see if he can run him down out to about a 2.5-second lead right now for Kirby. As we see Stouffer now pitting from the top 5. He's going to bring that 13 machine in, Travis Bennett in, Jerry West in. So pit road's starting to get here busy at around lap 50. And to me, this makes a little bit more sense, Jimmy. These guys can certainly make it on a 2-stop strategy. This seems like a little bit more of where I would be coming in here for a short pit and making that last stint nice and short there. If they go 50, 100, then you only have 32 laps on that last run. But making no moves to the pits is that 58, as You now got Kyle Bartles, Jeremy Little making their way into pit lane as well. So that's going to leave your top 5 as Kirby, Jeffers, Greathouse, Gherkin, and Hunt.
And that interval is closing as it was up to 2.5, now to 2.2. So either Justin Kirby's about to enter the pits or Eric Jeffers is just going to chase him down. But we'll hold that thought as Eric Jeffers comes down into the pit lane.
Yeah, so maybe Jeffers just put in a quick hot lap there as getting a really good in lap is the 4. Looks like Gherkin, Lesh, and Glass are going to follow as well. So this top 5, top 10 is certainly getting shaken up with a lot of guys going in the pits. And if you're wondering who went in the pits, just take a look at that gap right now, and you see all those guys 1 lap down. Those are all the guys that have come into the pits. As even if you're in the top 5, you are going down a lap here at Nashville Superspeedway when you're going in there taking those 4 tires. And it looks like pretty much everyone is doing so. I don't see really anybody taking 2 tires just yet. I think it's going to be a track that's going to eat these tires up, so you want to get as much rubber on that truck as possible. Take 8 tires if you can, but that is going to leave the lead now out to 5.8 seconds for Kirby over Hunt as we take a look, and he is going to complete another lap here. So the longer Kirby can go at this point, I think the better in his game plan, because if he can stretch the thing out long, yeah, he may end up overall losing the lead by somebody that has come in and short pitted him. But if this thing stays green and he can pit out there on lap maybe 110, he's got the opportunity to maybe take a chance and take 2 tires if he really feels like he needs to dig and get that time back. If not, he can go ahead and take those 4 tires, and he's got a fresh truck with 22 or so laps to go. So interesting here, seeing a lot of different strategies. Matt Foster now in the pits as well. He's going to surrender a top 10 position as only the top 8 now remain out there without pitting and on the lead lap. So this is one of those situations where, one of the guys that came into the pits already, you got to be sweating it a little bit, and you want to make sure that this pit cycles all the way through and you don't have a caution at this point, because if you're somebody back there like, a Grady Gherkin and a Kyle Bartles back there 14th, 15th right now, a lap down, you can get, in a really bad spot here if a caution would come out. Yeah, you can stay out there and get your lap back as the wave around, but it's not really where you want to be, because if you take the wave around, you're not going to be able to come in and take those fresh tires, so you're going to get eaten up by all those other guys that were able to stay out there as long. So yeah, the short pit can play out nicely if everything cycles through, but it can bite you in the rear pretty hard too.
And Dustin German just got back on the lead lap there as he went by Justin Kirby. So, so far it's looking like obviously the newer tires are a lot faster, and as of right now, I mean, this is like a big gamble by these guys the longer they stay out. It's just it's weird how they these pit stops kind of play out, and how sometimes the short pit, the guy can get just seems so far ahead. And obviously, their tires are going to be worn and you get to catch them, but so we'll see how this all plays out. But Dustin German was able to get on the back on the lead lap. It looks like Christopher, let's see where he's at here. I don't know if he's very far behind Justin Kirby. You're trying to find out where Kirby's at.
Yeah, he's about a straight away behind Justin Kirby, as Kirby's already in 3 and 4. So he is the first one a lap down right now. So worst case scenario, a caution comes out, he gets the lucky dog position. But yeah, it's a couple of firsts here, Jimmy. I mean, we got arguably our biggest lead of the race under green flag conditions without people pitting, as I believe that the lead was out to about 2 seconds before the second place truck came into the pits. So pretty big lead considering what we've seen so far this season. But the other thing is the disparity in pit timing. You see German right there go ahead and get his lap back. He was the first one we were talking about. He pit way back there on lap 40, so he's already got 19 laps on those tires. Justin Kirby has yet to come in the pits. I mean, we've seen the guys in the top 5 go a lap down, so there's a good chance that when it shuffles out, that German is going to get the lead out of this pit cycle. But he's going to be 20 laps, maybe even 25 by the time Kirby comes in on those older tires. So he'll let him get eaten up once again. So it really just depends on how everything plays out. If this thing stays green, if we get any kind of weird timing for the cautions. But you see these guys fighting to get their laps back. As right there, you got Ramos, or actually, I'm sorry, that's not Ramos. That is Foster just trying to get back to 1 lap down and have a chance at getting that wave around to get back in the lead lap. But right behind, you see right there is the truck of the 28. I'm sorry, the 13 of Stouffer, and he is trying to get his lap back the hard way, and going to do so as Kirby is going to come into the pits, finally surrender over that lead. We'll see if anybody else is going to join him. Looks like Ratcliffe already in the pits, Wenzel in the pits as well. Those guys starting to get shuffled back. Trevor Hunt is going to stay out. He is going to take over the lead, and it looks like, still waiting to see, it looks like Crawford is going to stay out, Porzuchek going to stay out, Colgan staying out as well. So several guys still staying out there, making this thing go out there, but now you're starting to see all these guys getting their laps back as they're all, thinking finally Kirby came into the pits. Now we'll see where everything shuffles out as you see the guys of German, Stouffer, Jeffers, Greathouse, Gherkin, Spencer, Bennett, Bartles, all out there in front. Jerry West also out front of Kirby. Little now getting by Kirby as well. So Kirby has been shuffled way back there in 15th right now, but we still have a few guys to come into the pits as Trevor Hunt, Crawford now finally come in the pits. And that's going to shuffle out to Porzuchek out front, leading a lap. So Spider-Man finally getting those laps led out there as involved in the first early incident. Good to see him back up there out front.
Hey, it might not last long, but hey, he did it. The Amazing Spider-Man is out front. Go Peter.
Absolutely. So as it stands right now, the top 2 drivers are the only ones that have yet to hit pit road for this cycle here. They did pit on lap 3 when they had the previous caution, so they can go just that little bit longer. But it is Porzuchek and Colgan, your top 2. And just to give you an idea, way back there in 13th, they would shuffle out after the pit cycles to 11th is Justin Kirby. So he's got 10 other trucks that he's now got to pass that have got significantly older tires than he does right now. So we'll see how quickly he can move through the field. Porzuchek going to give up that lead to Colgan as Colgan going to stay out there to lead the lap. And he's going to do so barely as he's got German running him down hard. And, if Colgan going to come in this lap, he may get past regardless anyway. So we'll see how long that 79 can make it out there. But right now, getting awfully close to that 1 pit stop strategy, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think, well, Peter was already in, so, technically it would be a 2 pit stop, but because he was involved in an accident. But it might have been just enough fuel, and he might have done just enough laps to possibly not have to come back, or not have to, come back in. So we'll see how Peter can work his pit strategy out there as he went for the long haul there, as these guys are going green, as they finally got in their groove here. We got a little bit of a battle back here for the 11th position. Or it looks like Justin Kirby just got around Jeremy Little. So, but this here be Jeremy Little being and Justin Kirby. This is 11th and 12th. So you can see kind of how that short pit kind of played out for Justin. Yeah,
Justin Kirby going for the long game here, and he's way back there in 11th right now. But Robert Colgan still out there, still taking laps in, and he is certainly past the halfway point at this point. How far can he make that 79 truck go? He's certainly going to fall way back here and possibly fall outside the top 20. Finally going to bring that 79 in, trying to get it woed up. And a little sideways coming in, but he is going to bring that thing in on lap 68. So he has got to make this thing another 64 laps to try and get that thing to the end. We'll see if he can do it on 1 pit stop and see where that's going to shake out compared to the other guys coming in and taking that 2nd pit stop and having that speed. He's going to have those fresh tires right now, but he's going to fall outside the top 20 as right now it's going to be German, Stouffer, Jeffers, your top 3, Greathouse and Gherkin round out your top 5 with Bennett, Bartles, Justin Kirby, Spencer, and West, your top 10.
This field changed up just a little bit. Dustin German getting out to the lead there. Christopher second, Eric Jefferson third, like you're talking. So these guys are back out front. Now it's just to see if that how long it's going to take Justin Kirby to get back up in the front, as he's currently back in, what was he at? Oh, 8th position. So down a few spots.
Starting to make his moves up already. He's already moved up 3 positions. But right now, battle for the lead. Stouffer's got 9 lap fresher tires, and he has every intention of using them to get around that 998 of Dustin German. German doing everything he can to try and block for that lead, but the 13 is going to get to the inside. And you see right there what just 9 lap newer tires does for you. Easy pass there for Stauffer to take over the lead. New leader here at Nashville Superspeedway. And you see right there behind them is the 4 of Jeffers, trying to hunt these guys down as well, as he pit 2 laps later than Stauffer, so he's got even newer tires than both of these guys. And this is where it's quite, again, the disparity. You had guys pit as early as lap 40 with Dustin German all the way out to taking a look down here, all the way out to 67 when Robert Colgan came in. So a 27 lap difference in pit strategy. That's just unheard of, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, the difference, in pit strategy here. As you can see, here's Peter Przorczyk is coming up on second place of Dustin German. So, Peter is on lap 64 tires, and Dustin is on 40. So here's 24 laps difference here, as he's able to get to the underside and go right by Dustin, and be looking to get past Christopher, get back on the lead lap. So we'll see if Peter's late pit stop will work out really good for him, and maybe put him in that spot where he doesn't have to stop again, and possibly get himself in a top 3 or even a win, if his strategy works good for him here tonight. But yeah, Christopher's still in the lead over Dustin German, Eric Jeffers, Matt Grayhouse back and forth, Grady Gherkin in 5th, along with Justin Kirby's up to 6th, Kyle Bartles in 7th, Travis Bennett up to 8th, Jerry West 9th, Jeremy Little 10th, Christopher Spencer 11th, Jake Lesh in 12th, Tim Glass in 13th, Andrew Ratcliffe in 14th, Brent Kirby 15th, Scott Bolster back there in 16th, Trevor Hunt 17th, Jasper Crawford 18th, Tony Japs 19th, Peter Przorczyk looking to get his lead back. I think he's going to do it right here.
Now that's just to get back on the lead lap there, Jimmy.
Yep. Yeah, he's back on the lead lap. Yep. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So Peter's backing up. Peter getting back on the lead lap there, in the 20th position, and then your trucks 1 lap down are going to be Jordan Wenzel, Matt Foster, John Williams Sr., Robert Colgan, Felipe Ramos still turning and burning out there, a few laps down, and then Cal Gomes and Joshua Siegfried have called it quits and parked in the pits here tonight. But we are on lap 75 of 132 here at Nashville Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some crazy disparities, being 10, 15 lap difference between the time that the first driver came into the pits and the last one. But 27 is definitely the widest margin that I've ever seen in a race here that has gone green since lap 3. Or maybe since about lap 5 when they took the restart. So it's not like this thing was marred with a bunch of caution. We had 1 caution there pretty much right away, essentially on lap 1/2, as it was coming to start the second lap. So a long green flag run here has seen quite a huge disparity in pit strategy. And now, speak of the yellow, and it shall appear, we've got ourselves a yellow.
No.
And this is going to get quite interesting. Good timing for Przorczyk getting back on the lead lap. We'll see what happened here, as it looks like it involved the 37 and the 19. Big impact there for Ramos. Not sure what was going on between him and the 19, but the 19 goes to take the corner, and the 37 was there, hooked him hard into the outside wall. That thing was smoking. I'm surprised that thing actually came away from that incident there without being just parked, but that could end up being the night for the 37, as he was involved heavily in that first incident. That one looked even worse.
Yeah, I mean that truck hit that car or hit that wall hard there as he was hooked there. So we'll see how he comes back for that. Hopefully he still has his fast repair if he hasn't already used it. But it's going to shake things up here a little bit as this might even out the playing field here as these guys are in that field, you know, to make it the rest of the way here, Carl. So I'm pretty sure people might come down top off, especially some of those guys that took that earlier pit stop. So we're about to see pit road get extremely busy as Christopher, Eric Jeffers, Dustin German, Grady Gherkin all lead the whole field down to the pack. Let's see who's our first one to stay out here. It looks like maybe the try to see anybody not coming in.
81 is going to stay out. That is Jordan Wenzel. He's going to stay out to get his lap back. John Williams Sr. going to stay out to get the lap back. Colgan going to do the same. So the caution here hurting Borzuchek and Colgan the most. Borzuchek did get back on the lead lap, and he's going to get back out there and still be in a position to have a good race here. But those guys stretched that thing out as far as possible, and they were trying to really bank on this thing being a one-stop race. Now with this caution, it pretty much throws that right out the window. Throws everybody's tires right out the window. It throws the lead of Justin Kirby out the window. That is the biggest thing that it did here. Justin Kirby had a stranglehold on this race early, ran that thing late, and was going to eventually cycle back up to the lead as he made his way up to 6th place. But now he's going to have to compete with all these guys, not on the newer tires that he had prior. He's now going to have the same tires as everybody else. He's going to have to get by these guys on straight speed. And with guys like Stouffer, Jeffers, Gherkin, German, and Greathouse in front of him, that is not going to be an easy feat.
No, I mean, he was pulling out, to a good lead there towards the end, so he was able to save his tires. But now he has to come through the field, so, is he going to burn his tires up? Can he get back to the front? By all means, I think he can, and he will. But Christopher has been no slouch, as Eric Jeffers was in 2nd and Grady Gherkin's in 3rd.
So now these guys all can make it to the end on fuel. There's no more question about fuel. These guys can make it the final 53 laps here on a tank of fuel. Now the question is going to be, how early do you spend your tires? Do you think this thing is going to be a quick hitter when it comes to these cautions, where the cautions are going to start breeding more cautions here at the end, and you want to try and get those positions as quick as possible, take your caution, get a couple more positions, and so on and so forth? Or do you think this thing is going to run all the way to the end on green? And if it does, you cannot just go hammer down right when the green flag drops. You're going to have to be smooth, consistent, and slowly pick your way through, or maybe let everything happen in front of you and then worry about it on the last 15, 20 laps. So a lot of different ways to play this thing. As a driver, you got to kind of feel that out. We'll try and bring in Eric Jeffers and get an idea for him, as we got the man now sitting in 3rd place, Eric Jeffers. Eric, you've had a pretty good run so far, and you've seen the pit strategy kind of take a weird turn, and all of a sudden now the caution wipes that out. How's that Halmar machine running out there tonight? Looks pretty good.
Yeah, so far so good. The first run of the race, I think I did a really good job taking care of my tires. I was moving forward. The second run, I think I burned them up a little bit, so I wasn't too upset to see that yellow because I was starting to get tight. We can make it to the end from here. Maybe this will, maybe it'll go green. It could happen. But yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, it certainly helps that the early leader, Justin Kirby, now marred back there in 6th, so he's going to have to try and come up and pass you guys. Looked like you were one of the only ones in the first run there that, like you said, saved those tires and was able to move up positions. So, is that going to be kind of the same game plan here without giving too much away? Just, be easy early and then go hard late?
Yeah, it's like I said. I mean, we can make it to the end from here, and I don't see us having a lot of yellow. So if it went green from here, I wouldn't be too surprised. So probably try to take care of it a little bit, but I don't really want to lose spots either. So.
All right, well, no pressure, but you are the in-race reporter, so you know what you got to do out there. We will talk to you at the end of the race, hopefully.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, guys.
All right, again, that's a 4 of Eric Jeffers. Getting ready to go back green here, Jimmy, and we're past halfway, and it's been so much action, so much going on. Haven't had a chance yet to give the, You love to hear it. And these guys are back green, and we might as well go ahead and jump to it right away, as a great start there by Chris Stouffer. We'll let you guys hear the sights and sounds here of Nashville Superspeedway under the lights.
I brought us back online here as I see Tim Class kind of get kind of sideways there. Looks like he maybe crossed pit lane here, so I'm just gonna go back. Where's he at? Not Sim. Where's he at? There he is. 0151.
Yeah, the 51 at Great House slowing up a little bit and causing a bit of a checkup there. Great save there by Tim Glass to keep that thing out of pit road and pointed straight down onto the track. So good job saving it there, as we'll get you back here live here in a second and get you right back while we got a chance for some more love to hear it, get you some sights and sounds.
And just completed a lap 92. Christopher is out to the front here over Grady Gherkin and Dustin German in third. Eric Jeffers is in fourth. Andrew Ratcliffe in fifth. So these guys continue to run around here at Nashville. Like I said, they're finishing up lap 92 as I speak right now.
Yeah, one of those names up there that you mentioned, the last one that you mentioned, Eric Ratcliffe, is certainly looking for a good finish here. We haven't talked about him pretty much all race. He's been kind of, hanging out there at the backside of the top 5 for most of this race. But he is certainly looking to try and make his mark on this race for sure. Still looking for his first win of the season. He's been up there, it seems like, every single race so far, and just still has yet to get it done. So good to see the 24 making his way up through the field. And you almost got a feel for right there, Justin Kirby. Looks like he's just kind of stuck right now in 6th place, and it could be a situation there where he's maybe just biding his time and saving his tires and going to make that late run, or it could be the fact that that truck is handling completely different in the dirty air. He had the first half of this race out there by himself out front, nobody in front of him, not even really lap cars. And now he is stuck back here in the traffic in the dirty air behind the 24 right now. So maybe having to drive that truck a little bit differently. But out front, Stouffer doing a good job right now holding off the little pickle that could, finding its way back up there into second. Grady Gherkin right now in 2nd place. Dustin German doing a good job hanging on into 3rd place. Eric Jeffers fell back a little bit on the start, but he's still hanging on into 4th. With, as we mentioned before, Ratcliffe in 5th. But this thing is getting close to being over, but also far from being over here, Jimmy. And one thing I got to say, it's great to hear the sights and sounds of these trucks when we do the love to hear it. But seeing these trucks under the lights and seeing these paint schemes pop is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the paint schemes act differently depending on how they're made, obviously, and you see a lot of them. A lot of the chrome finishes, they tend to be darken up a little bit. Like Christopher, if we go back here, usually a nice shiny metallic, bright kind of silver during the day, but at night it's got that blackish look, absorbing all the light, so can't see nothing. But definitely chrome there is the number 13 getting around. So. Almost like they need like a nighttime paint scheme for some of these trucks, depending on the tracks that they're on.
So we are on lap 97 now, as we've got still another 36 laps to go, 35 at the line here. So a lot of races still to be had, and if these guys think this thing is going to go green the whole way, it could get pretty interesting here, as, again, right around now is where you're going to start to see the tires kind of make that transition. Either they're going to stay the same and stay driving as decent as they've been driving so far because you've been controlling the tire wear, or they're going to start going away, and you're going to have to start trying to figure out either a different line to run, backing up the corners a little bit more, or doing something to try and keep that speed that you've been running the entire time, because it's not going to be easy if you're dealing with some tires that are worn, as we get a battle right there behind these guys with the 76 and 6, as that is the battle for 8th place right now, 7th and 8th, as Bartles is going to get by on the inside of Bennett. And right back there, another truck we haven't talked about too much this week, but Jerry West has been certainly in the mix in a lot of these races lately, as he's back there 9th in points, but that's mainly because he missed the race earlier this season. He has got 4 top 5s and 4 top 10s to go along with his win, so that is the reason he has moved all the way up into 9th place at the moment. He's got the most top 5s, or at least tied for the most top 5s with your points leader, Chris Stouffer. And it just so happens that points leader is out in the lead right now.
So he's Chris doing what he needs to do to keep that lead, obviously, over these guys. But Grady Gherkin up 13 spots to be sitting in that 2nd place. And then Brent Kirby back in 11th, up also 13 spots. We talked about him a little bit also earlier. Andrew Ratcliffe in 5th position is up 11. And Jerry West is up 10 spots. So couple guys with a couple big moves so far towards the end of the race here. As we just finished lap 100, we're now working on lap 101 here as these guys are coming down the front stretch right now.
So 31 laps to go now here as this thing is starting to wind its way down, and certainly not go time just yet. You still want to be smart with what you're doing out there, especially with the tires. But these guys are now starting to want to make themselves get into the position where they feel comfortable to try and make a run late here, as you see now Little trying to work his way around Bennett on the inside, as West is going to pick off another position, move him up to 7th place now. So starting to see that 00 make this late run here once again, as now he sets his sights on early race leader Justin Kirby. And you know, I can't say enough about Justin Kirby.
Whoop.
We talked about it early with him having the the speed and having the chances at wins before, and just things not working out for him, whether it be getting involved in incidents or whatever it is. And now
he's in the wall.
I think I said incident too quickly.
Oh,
It's a
no.
big bunch up there. Nowhere for the 55 to go. That's going to bring out another caution. And yeah, I mean, that enough said right there, as Justin Kirby gets shuffled back in the pit strategy, and that right there is a huge hit to the back of the 58
Wow,
as he gets into the wall coming out of the corner.
There you go. Where is Justin Kirby? There he is. Back this up.
And you see just, again, not maybe used to dealing with his dirty air. Being back here in the field, going to push up high out of 4. Getting to the wall, the 00 of West. Getting into the back of him, the 76. Shooting the gap right there.
Wow.
Getting through. And then right there, I think Little was just kind of wondering what the 58 was going to do. Unfortunately for him, he didn't do anything. And, helped his line, which is a good thing, but the 55 hammers into the back of him. Looks like the 95 of,
The other Kirby.
I thought here, 95 of Brent Kirby, making it through there also unscathed. So maybe now we'll start talking about the other Kirby being up front, as hopefully Justin is okay to take a faster pair in the pits and get repaired, and maybe see him really start to make a charge through the field. But we should see, and yeah, we do. We see pit road very busy here. And this is certainly going to be interesting now, as now we are set up for a shootout here at the end. Everybody going to have some fresh tires. Wonder if anybody is going to take that chance and take 2 tires instead of 4, just to try and get that track position. As it looks like so far,
46.
everybody going for the 4-tire pit stop. Looks like Tim Glass going to stay out, I believe, or maybe just drive through the pits. Not sure exactly what's going on here with the 18 or the 57 for that matter. A little confusing here, trying to get everything situated, but it looks like it's going to be Chris Stouffer out there in front. Grady Gherkin, Andrew Ratcliffe now getting out in front of Eric Jeffers. It's going to push him back into 5th place, but at 24 picks off another position, does it in pit road here to move up into 4th. German, Bartles, Lesh, Greathouse, and Hunt going to be your top 10.
Lesh sneaking his way up there. Been quiet all night. Finding himself there in that 8th position. So doing a good job. 5 spots from the start. So having a good run, good consistent run here tonight from Jake.
Yeah, once again, it seems like every week the maybe qualifying up front is not a good thing. I mean, we've seen it multiple times with Little having his issues, getting the pole a couple times and just really having a rough race from it. And now we're seeing, you look at the top 5 right there. You got Christopher up 9 positions, Grady Gherkin, Ranger Ratcliffe up 13, Jeffers up 4, German up 2. None of the top 5 started in the top 5, and a lot of them started outside the top 10. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, can't say that qualifying means nothing, but I mean, these guys are certainly showing a different race pace when it gets to the green flag dropping and things starting to mean points. And these guys are finding their way up to the front. But right now it is going to be Stouffer, Gherkin, Ratcliffe, Jeffers, German, your top 5. Bartles, Lesh, Greathouse, Trevor Hunt, Jordan, Wenzel, your top 10. Borzuchek making his way back up to 11th, so a good run back from him. Scott Bolster, he's run that paint scheme all year, but I guess it's probably most apt to right around this time, as we just get done with Halloween last night. He's got that Scooby-Doo paint scheme, Cartoon Network action right there. So good paint scheme for this week for sure. And then you got Justin Kirby is back out there, got the repairs. He is back out there in 13th position, so we'll see what he can do, see what kind of speed he's got to try and make his way back up through the field. You got Little, Japs, Crawford, Colgan, Glass, West, Foster, your top 20. John Williams Sr., the last one on the lead lap in 21st. Brett Kirby looks like he may have had some damage. He is now out of the race in there, 1 lap down right now 2 laps down, so not sure what happened, but it looks like he disconnected from the race, so he is going to be out. Looks like he will finish maybe 23rd, 24th, how everything shapes up, as you got Felipe Ramos still in the pits. He is not officially out of the race quite yet.
No, he's not officially out of the race, but he's still in the pits, and I believe he will not make enough laps up to gain another position over the not over Brent Kirby is anyways, but Christopher, the pace truck is in, and Christopher Stouffer's looking to start this thing.
And he does so indeed. He's on the loud pedal, back racing here at Nashville Superspeedway. Great jump by the 13, and he is going to gap this field by almost a half a second by turn 1. Ratcliffe now going to jump into second place. Jeffers going to follow him on the inside. Gherkin not giving up, though, on the outside. He's going to take second place back away, but we got spinners in the back. I seen Japs going around in the back there. Not sure if anybody else got involved in that, but the 19 I seen spinning towards the back, so the wrecking's still not quite done yet, as it looks like he just loses it by himself and then gets some extra help by the 89 there of Crawford. That was a pretty good shot that the 19 took. Maybe he could have saved it, but certainly no saving it after he took that shot right there. So that's going to slow everybody back down, shuffle it back up. I don't think we'll see anybody coming in to take another pit stop here after they just came in. Certainly don't want to give up any track position if you don't have to. So it's still going to be Stouffer, Gherkin, Ratcliffe, Jeffers, and German, your top 5.
Carl, I'm thinking these boys are saying it's go time, and the elbows are coming out. 22 laps remaining here at Nashville, and these guys are already got the elbows out, trying to guard and get every position possible to make a run at the points championship, as we're on round 7 of 20, and these guys are just doing a heck of a job and putting on a good show here. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like some accidents out here, but I mean, racing accidents happen, and it's because people are trying so hard and they got the heart, to be out there. But this allows Travis Bennett to get one of his laps back, as he's still going to be 1 lap down there in 22nd position, as he went by on the outside. So you never know here with these late race cautions here, as he could find himself back in the lead lap and work his way back up to the field, as he was one of the faster trucks tonight.
Well, as it stands right now, 3 of the top 5 already have a win in the season, so they know how to get it done, and those guys, 2 of them are on the front row, with Stouffer and Gherkin each having 1 win here so far in the season. Jeffers right there in 4th place, the other one in the top 5 that has a win on the season. The other 2 do not. Ratcliffe has thrown his hat in the mix multiple times here with that 24 machine, and yet to crack that win column, as he does have 2 top 5s and 4 top 10s on the season. So, nothing to sneeze at right there, but sits him 7th place in the points right now, but he desperately wants to get on that board of having a win. And then you got, right there, Dustin German. He came into the season a little bit later, but since he's come into the season, he's been putting his 998 up there at the front quite a bit, and he's been up at the front in this race here. Certainly has the speed to get it done, but we are going to have 20 laps remaining. I believe the pace truck light's still on right now, so we're going to have 19 laps remaining once we get this thing back green. So yeah, Jimmy, as you said, it is go time for sure. No sense saving any kind of tires. Certainly no need to save any kind of fuel. This is certainly all go right now. Pushing hard all the way to the end, getting as many spots as you can. And I'm not so sure we've seen the last caution in this race.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we've seen the last caution. I'm sure they don't want to have another caution, as they want to try to break, these guys out front want to try to break away from the rest of the field, as they definitely have their elbows out and have their hands full with each other as they try to finish up here tonight at Nashville. And if you haven't already, I've been so busy being entertained by the drivers, Carl, the fans out there. I've seen people come and go, and if you haven't already, thank you for the thumbs up already. And if you haven't, please hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't followed us here at CRN, please give us that follow, as we're closing in our goal for the year of 300 subscribers. So we really appreciate the support here at CRN, and we do cover a lot of other series when possible, and looking forward to continuing our series here at the Man Cave After Dark Truck Series with UCRL.
Well, the pace truck lights are now out, and we are getting ready to go back green flag racing here, as it looks like Jerry West was getting some extra repairs done, and he was given the EOL just to keep him back in the back of the field, catching up to the back right now. But he is still on the lead lap. Last truck on the lead lap. You see him catching up to the field right there. So we'll see what he can do, if he can try and move his way back up through the field. But it is going to be Stouffer and Gherkin on the front row. Ratcliffe, Jeffers make up the second row. German and Bartels, then Greathouse and Lesh, Wenzel and Hunt in your top 10. We have got 19 laps to go here at the line, and it is about to get pretty frisky here for sure. So hopefully these guys can do it all under green. But we are green flag racing once again. Great start again by the 13 of Stouffer, and he leaves this field in the dust as he gets out to about a 4/10 of a second lead. But these guys are eager to catch right back up to him side by side for second place between Ratcliffe and Gherkin through 1 and 2.
These guys are holding back, going too wide into these corners. As there's plenty possible here. These guys are just ripping around the corners here, just having a good time.
Yeah, good time, but certainly white knuckling it right now for sure. These guys are going for everything out there, and I'm sure gripping that steering wheel just a little bit tighter, as looked like Jeffers was going to look to go 3 wide in the middle right there. Ratcliffe still fighting with Gherkin and not able to pass. German getting a little bit dancy off of turn 2 right there, but does wrangle that thing back in. And I'm sure the tires are going to be a little angry for a corner or two, so you might see that 998 drop back a position or two. But a good save right there by German. Now you're going to dive down to the inside right there.
Wow.
Bartels, big move by German to try and move back up into the top 5. But we are almost 3 wide for second place right now. Jeffers trying everything he can to get around both of these guys. Feels like both Ratcliffe and Gherkin holding him up, but now finally Ratcliffe makes the pass. Not to be outdone is Gherkin diving back to the inside. He wants second place right back. And Jeffers is just saying, guys, figure it out. I got a lead that I'm trying to run down here. But Stouffer is starting to run away with this thing, out to a 1-second lead now with 16 laps to go.
That's a hefty lead there. Eric is just kind of sitting behind these two, Gherkin and Ratcliffe, as they battle for second, and trying not to watch his mirror too much, as Dustin German is looking to pick off Eric Jeffers if he makes the wrong decision.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen it on the last lap there, everyone, but that was the fastest lap of the race. So saving the best for last is Chris Stouffer. Big move there by Ratcliffe, and looks like Jeffers now going to try the outside. It's not going to work. He's going to slide up a little bit. That's going to open up the door for German, as Jimmy just spoke about. And we'll see if he can get it done into turn 3. Now he's going to have to back out a little bit as the door was slammed shut a little bit. But as I said, Stouffer running the fastest lap of the race. That's got him a 1 second lead. Gherkin now finally shakes free of these guys. Going to try and run down that 13. But it's going to take some effort here as we now got 14 laps to go. It is Stouffer, Gherkin, Ratcliffe, Jeffers, German, your top 5. Bartels, Hunt, Greathouse, Lesh, and Wenzel make up your top 10. And they are single file, but I don't think it's going to stay single file for too much longer. As just on cue right there, we have some guys battling towards the back end of the top 10.
These guys are just, hey, like I said, elbows are out. It looks like Justin Kirby trying to work his way back up through the field. A little bit Jeremy Little, they're back in 12th. A lot of great racing just throughout. It's so hard to, like, I got triple monitors and I'm like watching stuff on my left screen and my right screen as like trying to focus on like different little races here and there, and just it's just so tight and competitive here.
Yeah, forget surround sound. I need surround screens to see everything that's going on the track here. I need just one screen that just surrounds my entire body so I can look all the way around here and rotate 360 degrees. It's getting hot and heavy here at Nashville Superspeedway, and it's certainly been a good race so far. It's been a lot of different things that came into play. We had some crazy pit strategies going from lap 40 to all the way to lap 67. And we've seen a pretty dominating race early by Justin Kirby. But after everything has shaken out, we have got single file racing from 1st through 10th at least. And it's not for these guys not trying hard. These guys are pushing as hard as they can. But now it looks like a lot of people are on equal playing field, as we've got 11 laps to go. It's going to be 10 at the line, this time by 1 second lead by Christopher over Grady Gherkin. Can the points leader grab his second win of the season, or does somebody like Gherkin get up there and challenge to get his second? Does Ratcliffe get up there to get his first? All to play here with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, these six trucks back here in 13th and 19th. I mean, they're just battling back and forth. They were almost, all 6 of them were like almost too wide as they kind of got things settled out. As the it looks like the bottom of the track is still feeding the faster of the vehicles, as they even though exiting the turns you get a better runoff on the outside. Just the inside going into the corner just seems to have the little bit better entry than an exit for the race. So anyways, Christopher's up front here. Still over Grady Gherkin.
Yeah, I thought maybe once the track rubbered in a little bit, it would help the middle line get that entry that it needed, but it just seems like the trucks can just really hook that bottom a little bit better going into the corners. It's been like that all race, but seeing something now start to develop here as that little pickle that could is starting to reel in your leader just a little bit here as you look at the last 5 laps. And unfortunately, that one lap there right in the middle was a good chunk that Stouffer, well, a good chunk per se. I mean, it was 0.056 that he pulled away, but you see the last couple laps there that it is starting to go green, and green means that Gherkin is starting to close that gap little by little. He's going to have to do it a little quicker though, as we are down to 7 laps to go. But you see right there your top 10, pretty much your top 15, all single file, trying to figure out a way to get a run on the next guy in front of them. It's like Matt Foster falling back to 21st position, as not sure if he's blinking out or what the case is, but I see him all the way in the back of the pack right now. But out front, it is still Stouffer by now about 8.5 tenths of a second, as Greathouse now making the pass on Bartels. Bartels going to try and do the crossover and get back underneath the 51, as the 7 right there, Wenzel watches, or sorry, the 7 of Lesh watches these guys do some battling here just inside the top 10. And again, the lead is getting smaller every lap, but not small enough, as Stouffer doing what he can to stay out in that lead. A little bit of a close bumping and banging there, as the 76 just going to clear his way in front of the 51. I think Greathouse gave him a little bit of a leeway there coming off the corner. He could have certainly got into the side of him, and now the 7 of Lesh almost gets into the side of the 51, and he's going to pick off at least one spot there, but now he's going to slide up and give the crossover move to Greathouse. So these guys doing some great battling here just inside the top 10, and the 81 of Wenzel says, I want to get in on this action too.
Yeah, I mean, those spots are there, you know, and you gotta get stuck up on that high side. If you know that 81 can get underneath, behind Greathouse and push him, you know, he'd open that door for himself. But having that good run on the outside, it's almost like false hope of being able to go out there. But it looks like he's gonna even try a higher line to see if he can get a run off the corner. It's like he cuts down in front of Justin Kirby there.
3 laps to go now here at NSS, and the lead down to 0.7 seconds. And yes, it is still getting smaller, but still not small enough, as Gherkin doing everything he can to run down that 13 machine. But all he's seeing is his reflection in that mirror stay about the same size, as now coming to the line, 2 to go. It seems like these last 20 laps have kind of flown by ever since they've taken the last green flag right there. 2 to go now for Stouffer, your points leader, trying to extend his points lead with his second win of the season. Gherkin still eating into that lead, and he is certainly within drafting distance, but he's going to need to be a little bit closer than that, as these guys now enter turn 3. And if they get back to the line, the next flag will end this thing. Stouffer taking the white flag from Barney. 1 more lap to go here at Nashville. Gherkin doing, again, everything he can. He's got that down to under 0.6 of a second. Trying for some Hail Mary runs here on the last lap. He's got it down almost to half a second there, but gonna wash up a bit and gonna lose a lot of time right back. This thing is in the hands of Stouffer. All he's gonna do is make it through 2 more corners, and he will claim victory number 2 on the season. And he will do it. Your winner here at Nashville, Chris Stouffer, followed by Grady Gherkin, Andrew Ratcliffe, Eric Jeffers, Dustin German, Trevor Hunt, Kyle Bartles, Jake Lesh, and Matthew Greathouse, and Jordan Wenzel making up your top 10.
Yeah, there's a little bit of something going on in the back here. Look like Jeremy Little and Justin Kirby got into it just a little bit right there in front of Scott Bolster, as Justin Kirby goes down to the infield and calls it a night there, as that was on the white flag lap. So these guys running as fast as they could as the right down to the finish. But Chris Stouffer, our winner here tonight, with Grady Gherkin in second, Andrew Ratcliffe in third, like Carl said. Then Eric Jeffers, our England race reporter, finishing fourth, doing a good job here. Dustin German in fifth, Trevor Hunt in sixth, Kyle Barrow seventh, Jake Lesh in eighth, Matthew Greathouse in ninth, Jordan Wenzel in 10th, Scott Bolster in 11th, Jeremy Little 12th, Tim Glass 13th, Robert Colgan, Jerry West, Peter Przorczek, Jasper Crawford, Tony Japs, Matt Foster, John Williams Sr., Justin Kirby, Travis Bennett, Brent Kirby, Christopher Spencer, Felipe Ramos, Cal Gomes, and Joshua Siegfried running out your field tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Eric Jeffers fans out there, the streak for CRN is going to come to an end, as we kind of had the unofficial streak continue last week with Bouchard winning out there at Auto Club, but going to come to an end. I mean, you know, still the top 5 is a good finish, so congrats to Eric Jeffers on that, and everybody out there that was rooting for Eric Jeffers. But let's go ahead and start to bring in these guys here that finished in your top 3, and that is going to be Stouffer, Gherkin, and Ratcliffe. Just trying to round them up right now. And there we go. All right, so we will start with Andrew Ratcliffe coming home in third place, and you know, didn't really talk about you too much in the first half of the race, kind of just hanging back there in the top 10. Then all of a sudden, when it came to money time, you found your way up to the front. And again, having another chance at a win, but again, just coming up a little bit short.
Yeah, be honest, this is kind of a surprise top podium finish. I mean, I didn't even know if I was going to make the race. I literally bought the track at like midnight last night, ran 20 laps when I got home from work today, and then went and refereed a basketball game and came back with during qualifying. And so it was definitely a surprise, but as the race went on, I got more and more comfortable with the car. I was really good on the long run, but really that restart after the caution, after the big long run, after the green flag sequence, I started 10th, and then after 2 laps I was 5th. So that restart really really helped tonight's result. But I got more and more comfortable with the track as the night went on. So definitely proud of this finish, considering I did not have hardly any experience of this track before. Actually, no track experience before today.
Yeah, and this doesn't seem like a track that you can kind of hop into and just kind of learn quickly. You know, it's definitely a different animal with the concrete being out there, and it's a little bit more bumpy and just a little bit more finicky than just your normal 1 1/3 mile trial. But you found your way out there, and you certainly found the speed towards the end. So, you know, quite possibly if you had some more time on this track, we could have seen you up there and having a better chance. But it looked like the battle between you and Gherkin on that last restart just maybe just developed a little bit too long for either of you to make that last minute on at Christopher as he gapped you guys by about a second. Started to reel him in there towards the end, but, you know, just maybe a little bit too late.
I finally just let Grady go. You know, I figured if I just keep burning it away on the outside, it's going to cost me more spots then. So I finally just let him have it and said, you know what, it's just not worth it. I'll settle in 3rd because, I mean, he was probably better than me all night long. But I did learn something in the last 5 laps that behind him, but it was too late. You know, I was arcing it too much in the 3 and 4, and I should have been driving more towards the bottom on entry. But all in all, a really good race, top 3 finish. I can't complain.
Absolutely not, and yeah, put it in the diary for the next time you come here to Nashville Superspeedway. But again, like you said, a good job, a good 3rd place finish, help you out in the points, and maybe move you up and closer to the top 5 in points. But before we let you go, anybody you want to send a shout out to or thanks to?
Absolutely. Just thanks to everyone who came out. It was a great race. Good recovery from Auto Club. Once again, thank Grady. He's always, we've always raced real well together. Really, I can't think of anyone who I had in a battle with that for that amount of time. But thanks, Scott, for putting on the league, making these setups. I thought he did a good job with it tonight. You know, he had to make it loose to begin with, because if he didn't, I mean, it'd have been a dump truck in the late run. But yeah, thanks to everyone who came out and raced everyone clean for the most part, and looking forward to Martinsville.
All right. Well, once again, congrats on the top 3, and you keep plugging in these top 3s, top 5s. I'm sure the win is not too far in the future.
We'll just have to see. Depends on how much time I have. Basketball season. I'm not. There's going to be some races I can't make due to scheduling, but I'm going to try and make as many as I can.
All right. Sounds like a plan. I'm sure we'll see you out there and see you in the top 3 once again.
Thank you.
All right. That the 24 3rd place finisher Andrew Ratcliffe. Now we'll bring in 2nd place finisher, and Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take the little pickle that almost could tonight.
Hey, Grady said Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I gotcha. How you guys doing?
Hey, not too bad. Hey, I did a great job tonight, and found yourself there sitting in 2nd place here at the finish. Did you have enough, or what it takes to maybe track down Chris, or was his truck just that much stronger tonight?
Yeah, he was really strong. I was trying to get a good jump on Andrew right at the start there and clear him, and I knew if I could clear him, I would have a good shot. But we battled hard there for a few laps, and that was a fun battle. So back and forth with him, and it was good and clean. But once I finally got by him, and I was trying to run Chris down, and I was gaining a little bit here and there, but then at the same time, I could see Andrew was starting to run me back down too towards the end. So I was driving all I could out of the truck there at the end.
Yeah, Andrew was saying that, he didn't have much time on the track, but after he finally decided to settle down behind you, he picked up some things that maybe he'll have for next time if you guys come here as you were tracking down Chris. Maybe that's why you seen him closing in just a little bit. He was learning from you, so you taught him a little lesson here tonight. But yeah, your gap was coming down just ever so slightly. Just ran out of time to get by Chris here tonight. But a great solid finish here on at Nashville. That's for sure.
Yeah, I like running here. I've had a lot of good races here at this place. Glad it was a little more green flag running tonight. I like the longer runs like that too, so that helped out a little bit.
Yeah, speaking of green, you guys go to Martinsville next week, so short track city, half a mile. How do you feel that your odds in the race will be next week?
Oh man, I'm not totally looking forward to it. I like Martinsville in general. I like running it. The track's fun, but when you throw a whole bunch of cars on it too, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, you guys been coming up here with some pretty good sized fields, as you guys had 27 here tonight. So, I mean, I've seen fields reach about 30. So, that's a lot of trucks to be around Martinsville on a half a mile track. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll see how many of the haulers make it out there next week.
All right. Well, I don't want to tie up here too long, but again, just want to say congratulations and give you the opportunity if you have any shout outs out there.
Yeah, shout out to Scott, all the other drivers. That was a fun race tonight, relatively clean. Shout out to my teammates, Tim Glass, Jake Lesh. Looked like Jake had a good finish too. Yeah, Tim, not too bad either. He was running good for most of the race too. But yeah, just thank you guys for the broadcast, and I guess we'll be looking forward to next week, I guess, if we can say that.
You can say it. We both know you don't mean it.
I mean, my love for short tracks is not a good one. So, but we will be there, and we will put on the best broadcast as possible. So hopefully you guys have a good race, and we'll see you back again here up in the booth.
All right, we'll try to put on a good show next week.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right.
That your second place finisher, the 46 of Grady Gherkin. Now we bring in your winner here tonight, to 13 of Christopher, coming in as the points leader and just going ahead and extending that lead. Didn't look like that might have been the case early, as he qualified right there in 10th place, and just some crazy different strategies. And we talked about it multiple times here in the booth. On that long run, you've seen guys pit anywhere from lap 40 to lap 67, just a huge disparity. But all in all, it shook out to some late cautions, and you found yourself in the lead. So let's just go ahead and get right to the meat and potatoes of it. And that last restart there, you got a nice jump on everybody behind you. How much were you looking in the mirror and just loving every minute of the 46 and 24 battling each other?
I was loving it at first. I wanted to get a good jump on the restart, and I did that. They ended up side by side, and so I just drove the wheels off of it, trying to put as much of a gap between me and whoever was going to win that battle, and ended up being Grady. And there at the end, he started inching a little bit closer. I kept looking at my relative, and he was 1 second behind. Next thing you know, I look, and he's 0.9, and I kept looking over there, and I kept making little mistakes, and I just had to kind of block that out and just make sure to drive the track, and I couldn't really relax until we crossed that finish line.
Yeah, it seemed like for the last 10 laps or so, pretty much whenever he cleared at Ratcliffe, he was gaining on you pretty much every single lap, but the gains were so minimal that you're able to still have that 0.7 of a second win. But walk us through the entire race now. How did everything kind of play out? And we've seen you as one of the guys that pitted a little bit earlier than a lot of other trucks. What is it like out there being one of the guys that pits early? You get that short pit stop. You get the come out there on the fresh tires and start to blow by people, but you're sitting out there one lap down, and just were you cautious and worried about the yellow kind of screwing you at all?
Yeah. Well, to go back to the beginning, with qualifying, I messed up my qualifying and ended up starting further back than I was expecting, and was able to pick a few trucks off early, and then kind of got into a nice spot there in sixth place, and just wanted to put some laps down, try to save my tires, and then we got the green flag stops. I saw somebody come in on lap 40. Thought that was way too early. We were talking about it, and the team was, and my plan was coming around lap 50, split it 50-50 and 35 at the end, or what. However, I might do that on the last pit stop. It would just kind of depend on how it all played out. But we had that green flag pit stop. I came back out, and you do have to be careful when you're passing the cars, because you've got fresh tires that are on 50, 60 lap old tires, so they're a little bit slower than you, and you got to anticipate kind of what they're going to do. And there's certainly some hairy moments there. You're always worried about that caution coming out and keeping you trapped a lap down. But that worked out. I ended up front there, and I was just able through those last cautions to come out in first from the pit road, and get good restarts, and just maintain the lead from there.
Yeah, another win on the season, second win now on the season. You guys got to stretch your legs here a little bit the last couple weeks at Auto Club last week, and now Nashville this week, and now a little bit of a short track break in the schedule as you guys go to Martinsville next week under the lights, and then at Lucas Oil Raceway the week after under the lights. So, what's it going to be like racing around both those tracks, 175 laps apiece?
Well, when I do some dumb stuff at Martinsville, just say, that's Chris, and then go talk about something else. Don't show the replay. I do not like that track. I had to race it last night and once last week in another league. And I ended well last night. I finished fifth in a very strong field, but there was a lot of attrition that helped out with that. So that's not my favorite track. I will say, not looking forward to it. If I can come out of there with the top 10, even a top 5, that'll be a win for me. And then IRP, I actually love IRP. It's right around the corner, maybe 20, 30 minutes from my track, or from my house. The track is, and so I frequent it a lot. Went to the truck race this last year there, so I like that track a lot. I'll be looking forward to that one, but I guess we got to get through Martinsville first. So let's just hopefully come out in one piece on the other side.
Well, it's for quite some time now. We got to the point where people were clamoring to be the in-race supporter. It sounds like you want no part of that whatsoever at next week at Martinsville. Don't even want you to show you on the screen. So we will we'll try and keep it off you as much as possible. So just keep the truck clean and keep the mirror finish on that thing. But for now, it's looking good so far. Now you guys are 7 races in the season. You had a point C coming in, extending it a little bit more with this win. Is it feeling good right now? Is it just kind of taking it race by race, or you just trying to look at your opponents right now and kind of pick them off as you can?
Well, it does feel good, to have the points lead. I mean, where else would you want to be? I know there's a bunch of guys behind me who'd like to be up here. That's what we're all racing for. So, that's good. I guess, the downside is it's kind of like a monkey on your back. I'm just waiting for, the other shoe to drop and a string of bad luck to hit me. And, not, hopefully I'd be able to recover from it. But, it's that's why I raced the 13 truck. I know I switched my number, but that's my lucky number. It's kind of like a reverse psychology thing, I guess. So, and it's funny because I'm not real superstitious, but I certainly think I get some bad luck on this game. So, it is what it is. It is nice leading the championship, but at the same time, like I said, it's a little. You still got to, you're up there, so you're the guy everybody's after, and just that pressure of being up there. And I think it's kind of like starting in the back of a race. You got less pressure, and you end up, just driving the car, being more relaxed versus starting up front, where you feel like you got to maintain being up there. But there's a long season ahead of us. A lot can happen, and hopefully we can just keep these good finishes coming. I don't need to win, just keep my nose clean. I'll be happy.
Well, we're picking up what you're putting down with the reverse psychology. So if we take that into play, it sounds like you are considering yourself the clear favorite technically at Martinsville, and you want to see a lot of TV time if we're going by all this reverse psychology here. So we'll be obliged to do so next week. But
If
yeah,
I never showing me and not talking about me, then yes, you're correct.
Yeah, all right, gotcha. Well, either way, congrats once again on the win here tonight. Your second one of the season. To give us some shout outs and who you want to thank before we let you go.
Shout out to the guys on the team. It's fun racing with you guys. Scott for putting on the league. Grady, Andrew for racing me there at the end. It was a good race. You guys up in the booth, wife and kids. Hello, thank you for letting me race. And let's go get them next week.
All right, congrats once again to you and the team for grabbing another win there this week, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon.
Hopefully.
All right, that's your winner, the 13 of Christopher, and just another good finish, another win here for Full Throttle Motorsports as they look to extend their lead in the team championship as well. But I mean, it was kind of crazy. We had a little bit of everything here tonight, Jimmy, and some firsts with some big leads from the guys on the long runs there with Justin Kirby having a nice sized lead early in the race. We had some crazy varying pit strategies, but in the end, some late race cautions gave us some late race drama. But it was Christopher getting it done once again.
Yeah, I mean, these guys just continue to put on great races no matter the track. I know last week some of the drivers weren't happy with each other or the track in general, as there's some stuff that goes on, that happens in every league. But these guys put that all behind them, came back out here at Nashville, put it on a great show, had a good green flag run, green flag pit stops, battles for the lead, multiple lanes, just all kinds of racing all over the track. I wish I could show every single race or battle, every second of the race. I mean, it'd be like 30 different screens on your screen, but it's a lot of great racing, and we try to put on the best show we can here. But anyways, these guys will be off to Martinsville next week. So half mile track, you either like them or hate them or don't mind them, but I'm in the I hate them club. So, but we will be here to cover the race at Martinsville. 175 laps. That's on 8 November, same time here on CRN. So again, thanks for the support here that everybody gives. And if you haven't already, please give us that like and that sub. And I'll turn it over to Carl for any last words that he may have.
Yeah, it's a good thing that these guys got a nice, breather here in between last week. Like Jimmy said, having the little bit of chipperness after the race at Auto Club, because certainly short track racing and especially Martinsville, we've seen can cause a little friction. So I'm sure we'll see some interesting things happen next week, and it could surprise us and go 175 laps green, but doesn't mean there's not going to be some conflict out there. So we'll try and get you as much of the action as possible, and maybe just sitting up in the blimp view the entire time to catch all the action might be the best view. But we will be here. We hope you are as well. That's going to do it for myself and Jimmy here at the Nashville Superspeedway. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.